All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chakadash. Double honors unto our apostles and elders of great millstone and well. Much peace and blessings to us on my day, especially this 100% truth with all sincerity, faith, and charity. This is your brother Ashman, the great millstone, Miami Camp, coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chakadash. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the elect. It's going to be a quick hit, okay? Um, Excuse the noise in the back. But what I want to speak on in this lesson is just something that I was meditating on through the Spirit, and something we should all meditate on, something we should all, you know, go back to. A constant thought that this truth, we can't take this truth for granted, all right? The Lord has, through His mercy, through His grace, allowed us to have a relationship with Him again. And that's through this truth, through the knowledge that we possess. All right. Of course, first and foremost, the sacrifice that He made of His Son, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai going on the cross. Okay, Yahweh Shai going on the cross for us, which the scriptures say is no greater love than that, right? Salakia. Right. No greater love than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. We can't take that for granted. We have to understand that that's something that we don't deserve, and we couldn't have done anything to deserve it. So knowing that, there's a certain way we ought to move, a certain way we ought to act, and it's a type of mentality, a certain mindset that we ought to have. Okay, it's just like waking up in the morning. Life in general, you can't take for granted. You woke up this morning, that's because the Lord, allowed you to wake up this morning. There's many people that did it, and the fact you have life. All right, so we ought to be appreciative. And on top of that, how much more waking up in this truth. Okay, so we have a lot to be thankful for it. Just a reminder. That's the word, a reminder to the sincere brothers out there. Okay, this is Hebrews 2:1. Therefore, we ought to give the more earnest heed to the things which we have heard, lest at any time we should let them slip. Okay, what are the things that we heard? As the scriptures say, I think that's Romans. I can be wrong. Therefore, faith cometh by hearing. Right? I believe that's Romans 10. So we heard this word and we believed on it. That's the faith. And who did we hear him from? We heard him from the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and brothers on down. We believe their doctrine, their gospel, which is the Lord's gospel, the Lord's doctrine that He entrusted unto men. And we believe on the Lord through the preaching of these men. Okay? It's a lot, yeah. Let's read it again. Hebrews 2:1. Therefore, we ought to give the more earnest heed to the things which we have heard, lest at any time we should let them slip. So we're giving earnest heed unto these words. We're taking it in. We're taking it all in. We're weighing it out, weighing the gravity of it. Okay, we're counting the cost, what it's going to take to follow it, and we're running with it, as the scriptures say, that he may run that readeth it. We're holding tight, as Yahweh Shai said, hold fast that which thou hast, hold fast. Roughly paraphrasing, which means to hold tight. Why? Because it said, lest at any time we should let them slip. What it means for it to slip, that means the word of the Lord slips out of your brain to fall out of the truth. Okay, and it's a slippery slope. You know, it can happen overnight. The Lord could just have you wake up and you bugged out. For me, anybody, I'm talking to myself first. Okay, but it could be a slippery slope. Also, happen over days, weeks. You know, a lot of time, brothers that's been in this truth long enough, you've seen people transition, seen people fade to black. All right, now if the Lord had it to where they caught themselves and repented, the Lord could bring them back. So that's something that they weren't thinking about. They weren't thinking about uh, not taking this truth for granted. They were taking this truth for granted. Okay, the Lord doesn't owe us anything. Lord willing, we are the number. Lord willing, we're part of His elect, His predestinated. But we didn't do anything to deserve it. So that we have to walk with fear. We have to fear the Lord. Okay, because the Lord could take us out any moment. But Lord willing, we're part of His number. Lord willing, He continues to push the Spirit on us to push this work. Okay, so that's the balance, as the scriptures say. Give diligence to make that calling and election sure. So what if you do these things, you shall never fall. So that's how you don't take this truth for granted. Being on fire, being diligent, being appreciative, being grateful, which is gonna be proven through your actions. So that's pretty much it. You know, ain't have much time. Lord only was edifying. I want to give all praise and the glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Chabadash. To the next one, Shalom.